This is Open to Work, honest conversations about looking for work, getting work, and what to do when there is no work. Television is going through a dramatic shift right now, and nobody feels that more than development executives. So, to get a sense of what the future of our industry might look like, I reached out to Max Sopel, who is a development executive at ITV. Max, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. Can you just tell us a little bit about your role at ITV? What does your day-to-day look like?
Yeah, sure. I'm one of the development executives at ITV Studios, and I work with our senior kind of creative leadership team, working on developing and pitching ITV Studios ideas to kind of local and international broadcasters, as well as looking for third party ideas and also working on our own original ideas. No day is ever the same. One morning we could be working on a new version of Love Island, and then in the afternoon working on a serious documentary for SBS. So it's a lot of fun. We make high end documentaries, we make great reality, and we're always kind of looking to in those genres. So it's a very broad and interesting day to day.
So you said that you're doing a lot of different things within your day, but something you're doing quite frequently is talking to network executives, streaming executives, so on and so forth. Can you tell us a little bit of a sense of where trends might be going? I know you can't talk about shows specifically, but are there trends that are coming to the surface or others that are falling away?
Look, I think networks always talk about wanting, they want the next big thing. They will never say that there's things they don't want. But clearly, budgets currently are tighter. And I think mid tier programming is is more fruitful at the moment. That's what they're looking for. I think also they're looking for really simple ideas, whether you're a streamer or even a Channel 9, Channel 7, Channel 10. You're looking for an idea that a viewer will get in a sentence. If it's too complicated, if it takes too long to understand, even pitching it, then they're not going to probably go with it because the options now for viewers are so broad. There are a million streaming services. There's YouTube. You need an idea that you get in a sentence. So I think that's what's winning at the moment. Simple's winning, and I think that is what they're looking for.
It feels like at the moment there is a reliance on some classic formats. You know, we've heard that Channel 10 are rebooting Big Brother and more recently Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Is there a leaning on some of those classic formats because they're so well known, or is that just a couple of examples and they're always looking for something new?
No, I think you're right. I think heritage brands will always have a place, and I think it's an easier decision to make for a network because they know that ultimately these brands have done well, that they will probably do well again. You're also not having to tell an audience, explain a new idea. Most likely, some people will have muscle memory when it comes to these ideas. To these shows, and they will immediately have that kind of feeling. They'll have a sense of it. So yeah, I think if you have those kind of big heritage brands in your catalog, then they're always ones you're thinking about taking out to market again because you know that it's an easier decision for a network or streamer to make.
And what about international formats versus homegrown formats? You know, Australia lives on so many international formats. Are we still leaning on that a lot, or is there an appetite to look at developing our own IP here in this country?
I think we're definitely there's a paper, which is like our paper ideas, which haven't been made internationally, are definitely becoming more popular. For example, at ITV, we've got Eve of Destruction, which was a paper idea we worked up with Sean McAuliffe. We
Mm.
also have done a recent series on Melbourne Airport, which was an original idea for Channel 10 and an international broadcaster. So I think there's definitely a market for paper ideas. Obviously, I think the bigger they are, the more expensive they are, the high
Mm.
concept they are, is the harder it is for those ideas to get over the line. That's not to say they won't. I think also, like in what we were talking about earlier, international formats come with often rating success,
Mm.
tape. They have reviews. People may already know about them. So again, it comes down to that. It's an easier decision for a network to make because they're going on something which has already been tried and tested in another market.
All right. And what about genres at the moment, mate? As somebody who is kind of boots on the ground, what I see right now is
Mm,
quiz show or game show producers are often fielding a lot of offers because it feels like there's a
mm,
lot of game shows being commissioned, whereas adventure
mm,
reality, kind of the wheelhouse that I spent a lot of time in, there
mm.
are less opportunities because there are less genres around that format or those formats being developed. Are you getting a sense of what kind of genres are being commissioned and what the networks are looking for?
It's a hard one because I think the networks will always be open to really good ideas. I don't think they discriminate, and I think there's always an opportunity. Like, I mean, you can get yourself caught up in the fact that they only want these kind of challenge reality shows or kind of like traitor-esque style shows,
Mm,
which were so popular 2 years ago, and then suddenly it will change again to something else. I think there is a appetite for probably more like mid-tier programs which aren't incredibly expensive and incredibly high, going around the world, flying
mm,
to 85 different locations.
mm.
But I wouldn't say that we're getting anything specific about like, across the board of what people want. But I know that I think it's definitely comes down to formats which are um, affordable ultimately and kind of hopefully be, returnable as well.
So that's so interesting, mate, because I think as somebody who is a little bit outside of, your bubble, it does feel like
Mm,
they're looking at genres and formats, whereas what you're talking about is it's more about follow the money. What is that mid-tier budgeted idea that is returnable, that can
mm.
run for multiple seasons? That's sort of the sense that I'm getting from you. That's where things are evolving.
Yeah, but I also think like when that big next new thing comes, that they'll go for it. Like we still pitch incredibly big, exciting new shows
Mm,
all the time because we know ultimately programmers want to commission the next big, exciting thing. I just think the opportunities probably now are fewer than maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago. So, but I don't think there are a specific like, genres which are now ruled out, but quiz shows, are popular because they are you can shoot 3 or 4 in a day,
mm,
you can, get orders of, 50, 70, 80.
mm.
They go and go and go, and they're kind of cost effective as well, and they're repeatable, so clearly, like, there will always be an appetite for them, and also because they're great, so
Something else I'm quite interested in, Max, is we know that you guys sell to the commercial broadcasters and also to streamers. Are companies such as yours looking at new platforms? I know of one particular production company, one of the major production companies in this country, is looking at developing content exclusively for YouTube. And I don't can't talk specifically about what you're developing, but are you looking at multiple platforms for your formats?
we will pitch to everyone who we think, has the kind of who has the platform for the shows that we make. I think obviously like YouTube is kind of, it's made, and the biggest success of it is content creators and
Mm,
them putting up their own stuff. I think it will be obviously production companies are looking to get into that space, but I think it'll be interesting to see kind of how it is because it is a very different style of programming and it is a
mm.
very different approach to content. So look, it's something that we've discussed, but I wouldn't say it's a high priority right now.
A lot of producers are finding that they've got some free time and maybe they're getting those 5 or 6 ideas out of the bottom drawer and they want to start pitching them. Are you looking for ideas? Would you take on some ideas from a producer who might not have worked with you before or might not come from the development space? Or are you relying on what's in your catalogue and what's being developed by your team specifically?
So we obviously our first responsibility is to sell the formats of ITV Studios and our own original ideas, but we are definitely open to collaborating with people. We think we love hearing from people's ideas, especially ideas that maybe it's a great idea, it's a great concept, and potentially they've even pitched it to a network, but you need that bigger production company to come on and help facilitate the production and all the behind the scenes stuff that we know goes into making a show. So no, we're always open. We always are happy to hear pitches. Yeah, so it's something that we don't rule out at all. So it's something that we've always been happy to do, and we've got kind of successes in the past where we've worked with people and we have got a show commissioned. So it's something that we've always been open to.
Obviously, as I said at the top of this, it is a challenging time in our industry.
Mm.
Audiences are shifting, they're moving where they're viewing things like that. I guess, how does it feel from your point of view working within the development slate at the moment? Are you seeing that networks are quite risk adverse? Are they asking to have certain things and not certain things? What does it feel like as somebody who is very much inside the machine at this current time?
Look, in development, I think you need to have thick skin. You also need to kind of always be kind of optimistic and excited.
Mm.
And 99% of the things you work on probably won't get up. That one will. I think it's pretty good at the moment. I mean, look, you look at the ratings of maths. Audiences are still coming to good TV,
Mm.
and I think also there's a look, we keep on hearing that things are getting better across the globe, and we've got that sense here as well that the networks are hungry. They want pitches, they want good new ideas. So I think it's actually I think it's more positive than it seems from speaking to networks and commissioners.
Okay, that's really interesting. So I want to unpack this a little bit. And you brought up a really good point,
Okay.
Max, the global perspective. We hear about some horror stories from the UK industry, which I think is very similar to ours. We're not very much like the US industry, but you're hearing that things are picking up globally.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, who know? I mean, I'm not an expert of the whole global industry, but I think, definitely in the UK, things are getting busier. Big shows are getting commissioned. ITV at the Formats Festival a couple of weeks ago announced some big, new, exciting shows. One called The Neighborhood, which is like incredibly big, exciting new show. So look, I think things are definitely picking up, and I think there are exciting ideas coming down. It's just going to take a while because everything takes a while in this game. So yeah, I do see we do see stuff, especially out of the UK, that like things are getting busier and picking up.
It is a challenging time in our industry, and many are looking for new opportunities. What advice would you have for producers who are kind of wondering what the future of our industry might look like?
Look, I have no magic ball which will tell us what's going to happen, but I think definitely things are getting busier. I think there are still people still look viewing habits are actually up year on year, especially in Australia. People are still watching things are still going to be made. So I think there's big shows will come, they will remain, and lots of exciting new shows will also exist. So I don't. We see this year as a big year, and we think it's going to be. There's lots of opportunities for new business. So I hope and we believe that there will be kind of lots of opportunities for working on big new shows.
Okay, Max, thank you so much for your time today. Is there any particular ITV project that's coming out soon that you're super proud of that you want us to check out?
The show, which is probably on air right now and that we're incredibly excited about, is Alone on SBS. It is SBS's biggest ever unscripted show. We love it. This is the best series ever. And it is completely compelling from the start to the finish.
Yes, Alone is amazing. I know Fitzy, the series producer, really well. He does an amazing job with that show. Max, thank you so much for your time and your insights today.
Thank you so much. It was great fun.
My thanks to my guest today, Max Sopel. Thanks to Lowkii Productions for helping me put all of this together. And thanks to you for watching. See you next time.